Cool. So I think I know what your problem is, and I had the same problem, which is kind of why I'm stepping up to help you out here. I wish I had a better camera angle on my mouse with this webcam, but the setup that I had to do that is kind of no longer in operation. So here's what I think is happening. Most likely, most mouse movements that you're going to be making are going to be made with your wrist. When you're not in a game, this is just a comfortable position for a lot of people, is to move them, is to keep their wrist in place and just move the mouse. And you can see I'm getting it pretty good and well around the screen. So you never really in day-to-day like life using a computer have to move from this type of mouse movement. But it's not actually very precise. It just doesn't matter if you're just like clicking on stuff. You kind of can take your sweet time clicking on a button. There's no like reaction time involved. So what happens is in an FPS game, you need to make more precise mouse movements. And I'll show you why this method doesn't work great for that. What you see here just kind of looks like I'm moving my mouse. It's hard to tell exactly what's happening, even to me, just going by feel. But to you especially, because the mouse is kind of covered by my hand. But if you look here, that's really bright. But this red light is where the actual mouse cursor location is determined by. And I actually found a really good visual when I was setting this up. If I just hold the mouse a little bit up and move my hand like I normally would, you can see where the red light is, and you can see that it doesn't actually go horizontal like we would want it to. It's really hard to do this while watching on the webcam, but it doesn't actually go horizontal like we want it to. It almost like does an angular sweep, and that's gonna cause your mouse to move a little bit up and down, particularly downward when you're curving to the left, I guess if you're right-handed, or to the left if you're, or to the right if you're left-handed, because you're turning your wrist inward, and you can turn it in pretty far inward, whereas it's more uncomfortable to make that twist outward. And so what you need to do to correct this is you want to kind of use your forearm motion primarily. This especially works on lower sensitivities, and that's why a lot of people use a lower sensitivities. You can be more precise by having a lower sensitivity. I think mine, people usually go by eDPI, so mouse DPI is mine is 1600. My in-game sense is 3, so that's 4800. You multiply them together. Typically, you want that number to be between 2 and 10,000, so 2K to 10K. You can work with stuff outside of that range, but that's apparently like the safe range for most people. And now you'll notice that if what I instead do is I move my arm and keep my wrist angle pretty constant, it's gonna have to move a little bit so my arm can move comfortably, but and still keep the mouse where it needs to be. But you can do this and do these translational movements, and what you'll see if I lift the mouse up is if I'm moving with my forearm, it stays, oh, it's getting caught, so it looks a lot worse now. You can see that it's not perfect, but the angular twist is a lot lower, and especially if I kind of mind my hand movements, and you mind the fact that I'm adjusting to a new desk that I just got, and it's like in my hand's in like a different place than usual, whatever. This is kind of how you want to do it, and you're gonna have to accept that your wrist is gonna slide a little bit along your mouse pad, or that you're gonna have to just like lift it up if that's more comfortable for you. I kind of like to let my wrist slide a little bit. I don't think it matters very much, but I'm not a physical therapist, so if your shit hurts, stop doing that motion. I don't know, but yeah, I hope that this is helpful to you. I think that might be the problem you're having. So, damn it, whatever. It's a thumbs up. I'm wishing you luck.